morning. I am so excited. We are back for another pretty good coffee date. And of course, I brought one of my favorite people on. Ana is here. If you don't know Ana, go back through my channel. You will see videos with her, catch up on our other conversations, and then tune into this one. So I'm super, super excited. So I'm gonna give Ana a chance to introduce herself, but in a second. First, I wanna make sure if you have your coffee and if you have your word, go ahead and grab that so we can do some pretty good coffee. Okay, so like I said, Ana is joining me for today's episode of Pretty Good Coffee, and I am drinking my Joe's Blend. It's the donut shop, my favorite one in the blue bag. I'm using oat milk from Chobani, and I am using the oat milk vanilla creamer from Silk. I don't know if Ana is drinking coffee today, but Ana's drinking something. Yes. And so something that what they say, the something. So we're gonna let Ana tell us who she is and what she's drinking.
Yeah, so my name is Ana. First of all, I love this cup, this mug every single time. Pretty good coffee. Like, what coffee is it? What's the mug? What's the cup? It's a thing. It's a whole vibe, friend. It's a whole vibe. Thanks for having me here. So like she said, my name is Ana. I am a daughter of the Most High God. First of all.
That's it.
Everything else, I do a whole bunch of things. Speaker, author, mental health coach, and consultant, and the host of the Community Well podcast. And I'm so happy to be here.
Yay. I'm excited. I have a surprise for y'all after she gets done talking about her. So we'll talk about that in a second. What?
Oh, sorry. What am I drinking?
Yes. Tell her what are you drinking?
Like all the things. Mm-hmm. So I have just some regular Starbucks coffee. I guess it's not regular because it's Starbucks. Right. But you know why? It's because like I bought it and I just have it at home. It's not like I'm Starbucks.
Okay. I got you.
You gotta save the coins. So it's Starbucks coffee. And then I have vanilla creamer, super basic. And then I have water with like strawberry lemonade caffeine packet because it's Saturday and we need all the caffeine.
All the caffeine. Because Gigi and E are both having a day today.
Yeah, they are.
It's gonna be good though.
It's gonna be great. They want their mamas, and
we understand that. We understand that. So we are going to be chatting about Isaiah 46:4. And when I chose this one, I actually didn't even know that it was one of Ana's favorite scriptures. So this is going to be so fun. I'm going to read the CSB version, friend. I don't know what version you like. So if you have a different one that you like, you can read that next. But mine says, it's Isaiah 46:4. It says, I will be the same until your old age, and I will bear you up when you turn gray. I have made you, and I will carry you. I will bear and rescue you. All the feels.
I love this scripture so much. So I usually read NIV, but I was looking at the Message one.
Okay.
It says, listen to me, family of Jacob, everyone that's left of the family of Israel. I've been carrying you on my back from the day you were born. And I'll keep on carrying you when you're old. I'll be there bearing you when you're old and gray. I've done it and will keep on doing it, carrying you on my back, saving you.
I love this.
So much.
I love this. I want us to talk about how, like, what God has downloaded into us when we hear this scripture. And it may be the same thing, it may be completely different, but I'm going to let you lead this because, again, this is one of your favorites. And so I just want to chat a little bit over our Pretty Good Coffee while we talk about some pretty good word. Can we do that? Okay, let's do that. So tell me what God talks to you about when you hear this.
Yeah, so the first time it really like hit me that it was like I love this scripture was when I was in graduate school. So, I got my master's in counseling. And when I was in grad school, I had two small children. I think they were like, when I started graduate school, I had a 2-year-old and I was pregnant.
Wow.
Working full time married, of course, and all those responsibilities, and doing ministry and starting graduate school part time. So I was like, and as I continued my journey, I was like, I would love to go to therapy, to, be in that seat, as one day they'll be in the other seat. And I
The
wanted
other
to
seat
be,
with you.
little did I know, we would be really exploring and uncovering things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Long story short, in that process, I realized I had gone undiagnosed with PTSD and severe depression for over a decade.
Wow.
And so during the process of grad school, not only was he sustaining me during that time, but he had sustained me prior to that. And so when I walked the stage, I was healed because he healed me and
Thank you,
delivered me during
Jesus.
that time.
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus.
Like, only God can carry me through a whole grad school program with all those responsibilities and heal me. Because he's like, I'm going to go above and beyond.
We like
above what you can imagine. Above.
above.
I actually drew a picture, like, on your cap,
Yeah.
people do things. I drew a picture. I wish I could find this picture. It's a girl of like, it was symbolic of me, and she has like her hair out, but her head is down.
Yeah.
And there's like storm around, and then the
Wow.
scripture. So it's like, no matter what storm has come your way, I have kept you all this time. And because I am he says it twice. I am he. I am he who will sustain you. Breaking stuff. I am he who will sustain you, is that he won't change.
He won't change. He won't change.
He won't change.
What I love about that, because what I love about the scripture, and it's a part of, I think, what you realized in your journey, is that you were undiagnosed with some things for a decade, right? So what I love about the scripture is that he says, I'm unchanging. So even when you don't know that you need me, I'm available. I'm carrying. I'm a resource. I'm providing provision. I am rescuing you from things you don't even realize you need to be rescued from. That is when I read this, like that for me, I will be the same. That means he's already doing these things and he's already done them. Past tense, right? Like past tense, present, and future. It's all encapsulated in this, because we have this idea that when we call on him, that's when he's activated. But in this word right here, he says, I will be the same, which means he was already doing.
Yes.
I was already caring for you. I was already carrying you. I was already providing for you. And even when you weren't able or ready to recognize that you needed me, I filled that void.
Yeah.
I filled that void. And my promise to you is to continue to do that. Because there's going to be times that we don't know what to ask for. We don't know when to ask for it. And he's still going to be in that same position of carrying us.
Yeah.
And I love that. Like, he does not change. He doesn't.
He does not change. We do. So it's hard for us to like fully conceptualize that, because we're inconsistent. I like to think I'm a very consistent person.
Yes.
But I'm not. In some aspects, I'm not.
Not in relation to him. There's nobody as consistent as God. There's just no one.
Because there's no feelings. There's no I feel like it or I don't feel like it. Or maybe tomorrow he's unchanging.
He's unchanging. And he I think that's one of the best ways that he loves us, because even when we're doing crazy stuff or not worshiping him the way we're supposed to with our lives, or we're not activating our faith the way that he's called us to do, he still loves us. He still provides for us. And he says, even when you are old in age, I'm going to be right there. Even when you become more feeble, because right now we're considered to be strong and robust, and we can do all of these things he's called us to do. We could probably do it with a lot more ease, right? But when you're older, and he says, even then, even when your health is failing, even when your life is waning, I'm still going to do it. I'm still going to provide for you in the way that you need to be provided for. So he is constant, but he also understands our shifts. And so his consistency shifts with that to care for that.
Yes, he's accounted for our weaknesses
Yes.
and all that. There's a release in that, friend. Like as you were saying that, I felt like there was like a weight lifted. You know
Yes.
what I mean? Because even
Yes.
I should strive to be consistent in all these things, but I don't have to strive to be perfect.
No, no, no.
And for those of us that struggle with perfectionism,
It's me.
it is me. It is I.
We're
It's like
talking to us.
finding the yeah, yeah. We're just, you guys are just here, but we're talking to us. Like we just want to have control of everything. We want everything to be perfect. And
Yes. And to our detriment. And to our detriment. Because there'll be situations that we get ourselves in because we want perfection instead of realizing that we're being perfected. And so if there's this stripping away or this stretching, it's because he's perfecting us. It's not because he's requiring us to be perfect. And there is a difference. There's a huge difference. And it can be very, very difficult for those of us who struggle with perfectionism. And it can also just be hard for us who struggle with taming our egos. It's a thing. It's a thing. It's a thing. But this word says, I will be the same. I will bear you up. I have made you. I will carry you. I will bear and rescue you. In no place does it say, you will do these things. I will shift the responsibility to you. You will make a way out of no way. You will carry yourself and you will find the strength to rescue yourself. It does not say that.
Nowhere in
no place. And I've read this thing a couple times. It'll say that.
Just to make sure. It don't say that.
It'll say that.
Not you and your own strength.
It doesn't say it. It doesn't say, and there's so much comfort in that. It takes that weight off of our shoulders, that responsibility to be perfect and to find all the answers. Oh, I love verse 5. This is a total like rant, but to whom will you compare me or make me equal? Who will you measure me with so that we should be like each other? There's no one like him, and there's no one who can do what he does. That includes us. That includes us, right?
And other people. We make other people gods.
Yeah, or things.
Yeah, or things.
Or things. And we do this, and then you read this word, and he's saying, I will do all these things for you. Who can you compare me to? No one else can do what I've promised to do for you. And not only have I promised to do for you, but that I've already shown you I've done.
There's proof.
There's proof.
Record.
I love this about God.
I love it.
I love this about God.
So much. And I mean, it's always a repetition for me. Because it's like in the message one that I read, and I'll keep on carrying you when you're old. I'll be there, like you were saying. But it's that constant, like it's me. It is I. And it's about like knowing that and giving him his place. Because there's a release in that. You know what I mean? Like if I know that you're gonna carry me and sustain me, you know what I mean? Like even in the trials of life, but also like in the assignments that he gives. Like if he calls you to do something, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like trusting that he's gonna carry you through that and whatever comes with that.
That
can be hard. That can be hard.
And terrifying. It can be all of those things, but it doesn't change that he's going to do it with you. And more importantly, that he's gone before you. So he knows what's out there.
Yeah.
He's not calling you into something to your detriment. He's calling you into something for your growth. Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing. Because again, what I love about the scripture is that he is constantly saying, I've already done this. Like I'm promising you these things for, future and as you continue to evolve. But the reality is I've actually already done, even when you had no clue. And that for me is so important, because there's a lot of seasons that when I either didn't recognize his hand or I just wasn't ready to acknowledge his hand. Right. And so this reality, he like, I did it and I kept doing it and I'm still doing it. I'm going to keep doing it. Like for me, it's like, God, you are so faithful to your word. Your word. I didn't even know you made me these promises. but you honored them anyways. You weren't coming to me like, girl, I told you X, Y, Z. That's not what you did. I've decided that I'm going to care for her, that I'm going to carry her, that I'm going to provide all of these things. I decided that. And so I'm going to do it. I'm not doing it for recognition. I'm doing it because I'm God. I'm doing it because I'm God.
That's it. Because it's who I am.
Because it's who I am. It's who I am. And what I love about God is that God defines God.
Yeah.
He determines his characteristics. He does all of those things. And so that means he deliberately decided that this was what he was going to do and the character trait he was going to take on, the consistency, the faithfulness, the one who said, I am a provider. I am the provider, actually, is what he says. I'm the provider. And even when you did not know me, even when you did not trust me, even when you did not have a relationship with me, because I have said that that is who I am, it is what I did.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know many people like that.
Well, I was going to say, I was thinking about all the people that said they were going to do something and they didn't.
They
I
didn't.
also think about like you reading that and I'm like, he's such a loving father. And sometimes we know, like we've talked about this, like our perception of God sometimes is affected by our relationship with our earthly parents.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I think
Yes.
about like, my bio dad, and long story, I didn't meet him until I was 16 and he lived across the street. I met him the day before he died.
Wow.
Like whole thing, and so I had a lot of trust issues. And so even in the midst of me like healing and trying to figure out all these daddy issues that I had, God was still there. He was still there with me, carrying me. He's like, I'm literally carrying you on my back right now. And that's okay. I got you.
I got you.
I've done it and I will continue to do it no matter what. No matter what trust issues you have with these earthly people, as you learn to trust me. That's intense. Like if you think about like a relationship with someone, like I'm gonna stick through it while you have these trust issues. Do you see what I'm saying? Well, some of us will be like, I'm all set. I'm good. You don't trust me? Deuces.
That's
okay.
it. We good.
See you later.
Yep.
I walk this with you. You know what I mean? Let alone carry you.
Won't be doing that.
We'll not speak. Okay.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, he carries us through all that mess and all that mud.
All of
And
it.
promises to continue to do so because we will have some trust issues down the road. And he's like, it's all good.
It's that part. It's that part. I'll be there. I'll be there. I'll be there. I'll be there. Like I see it over and over and over again. And again, even when you're becoming feeble, even when you're not as trusting, because that's a weakness, right? Even when you aren't looking for me, even when you're not ready for a relationship with me, like I feel like all of that is encompassed in this. And he's saying, I'll still be there. I'll be there. I'll be there. I'll be there. And there's no one that's going to do you or love you the way that I already have. I already have. Yeah. Because I mean, you're talking about your own personal testimony and it was hard and it was scary. But the reality was that you were never alone.
Yeah.
You weren't alone in it. Just as much as you were hurting, he was right there. And we don't know it, we don't know it in the degree that we do now. You know what I mean? Like in our relationship with him, like we didn't know it then, but it doesn't change that he was.
Yeah.
It doesn't change that. Just because we're coming into the realization or the knowledge of him does not change the fact that he was there and he was doing.
Right.
He did care for and he did provide. It doesn't change those things. And I think that brings me so much comfort that he wasn't like saying this is all contingent upon our relationship. This is all contingent upon you knowing that it's me.
Yeah.
You know,
That
I
right
love
there.
that.
I love that so much too. It's like that comfort, that peace. Like I could just sit and bask in that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
On faithfulness. And practically, I did a whole Promise Keeper series where he had me on social media, like share all the times and all the things that he came through on his word. And doing that in a practical manner, you like I was able to look back and
Mhm.
really reflect and like take in and be full of joy and like be grateful and rejoice and all these positive things. Because what happens is when we look back and we do it without like, God did this for me, we can sometimes either get depressed or feel lonely. You know what I mean? Like I could be like, you remember that time when like grad school was so hard? Like I was depressed. I was Man, I was in grad school. God came through with loan after loan for me to be able to pay this. At the end, he promised me a house at the end of grad school and told me to quit my job. And the less I had, the more he provided. Do you know what I mean? It's like a spin in perspective so that I can truly like take this in. Man, I get all the chills and all the feels. I'm like, you were
Yeah,
there
I definitely have the chills right now.
in the details, like all along, like carrying me.
All along. That's the part though. For me, like, and that's like, that's the one for me. It was all along. It was
Yeah.
all along. And he did it
Ooh,
over and over and over again.
yeah.
He didn't stop. He did not
Yes.
stop.
Yeah.
And I love that for us. I
Yeah.
love that for people that the other people that are going to be listening to this. I love it for the people who don't even realize it yet.
Yes.
I love that. I
Mhm.
love that there is no comparison to the way that he cares for his children. There is no comparison.
Man.
None. There's just none. And I love that about Isaiah 46 and 4 and 5, being able to highlight that. And it's something that I think you can come to over and over again, and you'll always find perspective, fresh perspective on what it means to be loved and cared for.
Yeah. Yeah. And we'll need it because as trials come, you'll feel unlovable, forgotten about, like all these different
Yep.
things.
Yep. Yep.
And
That's
you
how you
need
need
that.
scriptures like this.
Yes.
You need these.
Anchors.
Mhm. You absolutely do, because you are going to have moments but yeah, well, don't know what's happening here. So,
Yep.
and then you're going to go back to the word. This is a
Yeah.
perfect scripture to put in your scripture bank to read over and over and over again until it gets rooted down deep,
Yes.
so that when uncertainties come, you could pull this bad boy out
Mm-hmm. I
and be
agree.
reminded.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
It's a whole thing.
So I'm excited. I'm so thankful that you joined me to chat about Isaiah 46 and 4. I hope that the girls enjoyed our conversation today. Obviously, y'all, we're going to keep talking, but this is the part that we want to share with y'all. So thank you so much for joining us for Pretty Good Coffee. But I said that I had a surprise, and I do. Anna is one of the speakers for the Hey Pretty Day date on May 21st. Oh my God. I'm so excited. So if you want to hear more from her, you need to buy your tickets. And y'all, they're selling out. They're selling out. Yeah. I am. Yes. Every day we're having multiple tickets. Some of y'all are buying 4 or 5 tickets. I am stoked that you're bringing your girls with you. Anna is excited. Anna's my girl, so we're ready for your girls. Like, we are
Yeah.
excited. But like Anna said, she has a master's degree in counseling, and she is going to be talking about the relationship between your spiritual health and your mental health. You do not want to miss how she's going to teach us on this subject. I chose each speaker personally because of my own story, and because I believe that they could talk to you on a level that I needed at some point, right? Because we're going to grow together. Luxury is not just about material things. It's about loving on all of you and loving you well. And so that's what we're going to do. So if you have not gotten your tickets to the Hey Pretty Day Day on May 21st, go to petrapendar.com/events and get your tickets. If you've been trying to get your tickets from my Instagram link and it hasn't been working, someone had hacked me. I didn't know that. So that's a thing. So don't, right, exactly. So I've gotten a lot of your messages. Go to petrapendar.com/events on the website. Don't bother trying to click my link. I've tried to fix it. I'm hopeful that it's working, but in case it doesn't, that's where you should go. So that's it. I'm going to stop rambling. I'm excited. Again, my coffee is from Joe's. It's the donut shop. Anna has Starbucks coffee, and we are enjoying it. We're going to continue to enjoy it. Thank you for joining me for Pretty Good Coffee. I will see you next week. Bye.
Y'all.